This lesson is about writing the equations of functions. Specifically, we're going to look at linear functions that use the formula y equals mx plus b, where m represents the slope or rate of change, and b represents the y-intercept. There are two different kinds of linear functions we're going to look at. The first one is called a direct variation, or proportional. And a function's only a direct variation or proportional if it has a constant rate of change and it goes through the point 0, 0. In other words, it starts at 0 and goes up the same amount each time. Here's an example. If we have a table with these points, 624, 832, and 1040, we can first check to see if it's a direct variation by finding the ratio of each point. In other words, we're going to look at y divided by x. So if we take 24 divided by 6, we get 4. Then we take 32 divided by 8 and also get 4. The last point, we divide 40 by 10 and get 4. Since every single time we divided those, we got the same number, that means that this function is a direct variation. The rate of change is 4, and because it's a direct variation, we know it goes through the point 0, 0, which will be our y-intercept. Since the rate of change is just another word for slope, we can go ahead and write our equation, knowing that y equals mx plus b, so y equals 4x plus 0, because 4 is our rate of change or slope, and 0 is our y-intercept. Now, not every linear function is a direct variation. We're going to look at another example. We'll start by checking the same things. We're going to look at all of the ratios of y divided by x. If they're the same, it's direct variation. So we start with 4 divided by 1, which is 4, and then 7 divided by 4, which is 1.75, and 9 divided by 6, which is 1.5. Since these are all different numbers, this is not a direct variation. This is not a proportional relationship. However, if we graph this, we can see on the graph that it is linear. We go to the point 1, 4. Remember, 1 is the x number and 4 is the y number. We go to the point 4, 7 next, and then the point 6, 9. If you look at these, the points line up and make a straight line, meaning that this is a linear function. We can still use the formula y equals mx plus b to write the equation for this function, even though it's not a direct variation because it does not go through 0, 0. First, we find the slope. We have to use a different method. We have to find rise over run. You can find that on the graph by going from x to x and from y to y, or you can do this on the graph by seeing rise over run. So since each x number goes up 3 while the y number goes up 3, or 2 while the y number goes up 2, we can divide 3 by 3 and 2 by 2 to find the slope is 1. This is just the rise, or y number, divided by the run, or x number. We still need to find the y-intercept, where it crosses the y-axis. Since it crosses the y-axis at the point 0, 3, that means our y-intercept is 3. On the table, we can see that since x goes up the same amount as y, if we have to go back 1 on x to go to 0, we would go back 1 on y, which would be 3. Well, now that we know that our slope is 1 and our y-intercept is 3, we can write our equation. Y equals 1x plus 3, where 1 is the rate or slope and 3 is the y-intercept.